Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming back. I just wanted to start this episode off by saying thank you to all the new people, to everybody who has joined my channel, to everybody who has watched my videos. Thank you for every single comment you have left me ever, the good and the bad. Although I have to say I haven't gotten any bad comments. Please don't start now. Let's stay on the good path. I want to say thank you to everybody who has helped with the fundraiser. I greatly appreciate it, and I still don't know how to put it into words, how to say thank you, other than to say thank you. You are truly helping a stranger who you have never met. You have helped change my life more than the people who should be helping me. The people who, you know what I'm saying. I do believe in karma. I do believe that what you give out will return to you. And if any of you ever need anything, please come to me and tell me and let me know. And I will try to do what I can for you. As I know this is not a score that we are keeping, but if I can help anybody, I always will. So I just wanted to say thank you. I wanted to start this video off with a thank you, thank you, thank you. What else? I don't know any other words. I am in shock over how much people have reached out and tried to help and truly took an interest in my story. I will explain it in this video what the story is. And all I have to keep thinking is that I have to be okay because you guys are pushing me. So I sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart and all the way down to my feet, which is not very far because, as you all know, I'm pretty small. So just wanted to put this in the beginning of the video to start off with a good note. All right. Please like the video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't been already. I will, if you tell me that you have subscribed, I will do you a favor and I will come back to your channel and subscribe to you. It's just fair. So, let's get on with the story. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Oh, I just sat down and realized I have to get up. Hold on a second. Welcome to my show. As usual, I'm prepared. I am totally prepared. I don't even have a tray. Well, I guess we're gonna use this for now. Okay. Put our glasses on. How is everybody doing? What is going on? I am working on a canvas chair that I have not shown you yet, but I needed something to work on while I talk to you. So I think I filled my little tray here a little too high. We're gonna see if I can get my multi-placer to work. And we're gonna have a little chat today. I've not done a WIP and chat in a while. I realize that. I've just been posting up shorts of my Guns N' Roses. What did I do before the Guns N' Roses? add a short of that one too. Okay, guys, watch. Where is my camera? I have a single placer in here, okay? And I have tried gluing it, and it didn't work. And I tried tape, and it didn't work. And I don't know if you guys can see me or not. There. This is loose, and I just can't get it to stay. The other one is fine, almost. Where is it? It twists a little bit. Here's my pen. This one, Captured by Radiance. I got this for my birthday. It was part of a gift. It's my Canada flag. Canada. Anyways. So this canvas that I'm doing, I have not shown you guys yet. I will probably post it in December because it is a Christmas theme. Sorry if you hear the cats. One of the cats is in the other room, Sadie, and she wanted to keep running back in there when I was trying to close the door, and I tried 3 or 4 times, and I said, fine, you can stay in here. So now she wants out, and I'm not going because I'm afraid she's gonna just run back in. I like this pen. It's heavy. I don't know if it's going to end up hurting my hand, but I like how heavy it is. I also wish that I still had resin because I would make my own pens. If I could find the mold. My placer is not working. My good placer is the placer that I've been using, that I finally figured out how to multi-place, is downstairs. And none of my pens have wax in them. Of course they don't. This is the kind of life I've been having lately, guys. Nothing wants to work. So let's try again. There we go. This is also one of my favorite pens. Neon green. I have a purple one to match. So what has been going on? As some of you know, my life is about to be flipped upside down, like Fresh Prince said. Remember how I've been telling you guys that there is a house being built in my backyard, and I have talked about it here before. I have said how, I think I've shown how big it is, and etc., etc. And it started in August, and the plans were approved in April. And the only reason I found out about that is because my neighbor told me about the town meeting. There's a lot of secrecy to this house. I realize it's not mine, but when the neighbors know more than I do, it kind of makes me mad. So here is the rundown coming from me and not from Rami, who is doing miracle work over on her channel for me, because she is an amazing person, and sometimes I don't think that she realizes how wonderful she really is, and how she's not what her inner thoughts tell her that she is. We all have those inner thoughts, right, where we have that bad side in our head that says, oh, you're dumb and you're stupid and you're useless and you're this and you're that. And yeah, if you want those thoughts to come out, just be stressed. That's what I have come to realize. Okay, so I am rambling on about a lot of stuff. Now, house is being built in the backyard. You guys all know this. I have talked about it constantly. The landlord told me the house would not affect me. He was not going to do construction on my house. He was not going to touch my house. It had nothing to do with me, etc., etc. Then remember, he wouldn't give me the lease, the updated lease, when we asked, because we wanted to know about, well, we just wanted to be covered in case anything ever went to court, like we weren't cutting the grass or our parking or whatever, right? You should always have a copy of your lease, no matter where you live, guys. Even if your landlord is your mother, you should always have a copy of the lease. So, I don't have an updated copy of my lease, first of all, and I'm supposed to. And there was a big argument about it, or he said, I don't need to worry about it. The town knows what's going on. Everything he's doing is legal. Etc., etc. When I asked for a copy of my lease, I should have been given one as my right. Because what if I went to the insurance and they're like, oh, do you have a copy? Or what if disability needs a copy? Because I'm on disability, right? For my lungs. Okay, so house was approved in April. I've said that 17 times now. April. This is now November. The middle. No, today's the 20th of November. On the weekend, it was the middle. The landlord was in my backyard. He was doing... He finally half fixed my door. If you remember, snow used to come in the bottom of my door every year, and we would have to do something about it. There was nothing I could do because I'm not going to do construction on somebody else's house. And I kept asking and I kept asking. So finally he replaced the door. I don't remember if it was September or not. He did not finish the insulation around the door. There was still holes and etc. So I called him and I said, hey, can you come over and maybe fix this door because it's snowing out? Okay, so he came a week later, which is what he said he would do. I said, that's fine because it's supposed to stop snowing. Okay, so he comes over, fixes the door, whatever, and it dried, and he was working on the house in the back. And he came over and said, hey, how's the door? Do you see any sun coming through? And I said, no, it's good now. He says, okay, I'm going to have, I forget who he said, somebody come, and they have to put siding on the outside of the door because it's just plain wood, right? Just 2x4s on the outside. I said, okay, cool, thanks. I'm glad we finally have this fixed. My first winter in 14 years that it's not going to snow in my house. So I said, hey, by the way, how come the house, this is where the story gets good, guys. So hopefully you're still here. How come the house in the backyard says the address number and then it has unit C on it? When is my house unit A? And he said, no, your house has been mapped out to be a duplex and it's going to be unit A and B. And I said, what? He says, the town approved your house to be turned into a duplex. I said, my house can't be a duplex. Because of the layout, there's just absolutely no way. I said, it'll cost you more than the actual purchase of the house to fix it. He says, well, because of the taxes, this is what his excuse was last time when he wanted to raise my rent. An insane amount. Almost double my rent overnight. Okay, so he says, because of the property taxes and the upkeep and the house that he's building in the backyard is costing more than he thought it would. He's gonna have to tear my house down and put another house up, a duplex. I said, what? I said, when are you planning on doing this? And he says, well, when the tariffs, and then he stopped and he shook his head and he says, just eventually I'm going to do it. And I said, eventually when? Like, eventually in the future? Or eventually, like, next week? And he says, I don't know, but it's coming down. And so have you guys been looking for a house still? Because every time he comes here, he always asks me, are you still looking for a house? Are you still looking for another place to rent? I'll help you. Well, he's not helping. I said, no, I'm not looking for a house. I quit. I said, you're essentially building 3 houses on one property because there are no houses in Canada, and you know this. You are in the middle of building 3 of them. I said, where am I supposed to go? So he did not give me any papers. I don't know if he plans on giving me papers because, like I said, he tried to raise my rent before. And he didn't bring me the proper papers. Every year when my rent increases, he doesn't bring me the paperwork. I do it myself because I am so afraid that he is going to freak out and say, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Meanwhile, it's not my responsibility to be doing his paperwork. Yes, he is supposed to give me paperwork about this demolition. My house was built in 1910 and absolutely nothing has been done to fix this house except for a new furnace last year. The shingles on the roof fell off last year, and he had somebody come and put I don't know what it is, a piece of a 2x4 to and nailed the 2x4 on top of the shingles so that they don't flap. That's how that got fixed. Like I told you, my back door took 14 years to get fixed. We have cloth wires, like original, like 1950 cloth electrical wires in the walls. You can see them. So he has never put any money into this house. He got the keys to this house because it was in court from the past owners. And the day that he got the keys is the day that I took over the rental. Okay, so my house is going to be demolished. Let me explain a few things now about Canada. Canada sucks. Canada has no housing at all. We have let too many non-Canadians move into Canada. We have like 1 million people come here a year. They need to live somewhere. And the Canadians aren't being treated the same way that these people who are coming to Canada are. The people who are coming to Canada are getting special treatment because they need a house. They don't have anywhere to go. Also, where I live, so I live at the very bottom of Ontario. Okay, Toronto is 4 hours to the west of me. So that just gives you a general idea. People in Ontario, or people in Toronto, were buying the houses where I live in this little town, and they were charging Toronto prices, which really sucks for those of us down here because we don't have Toronto wages. We don't have Toronto jobs. We have minimum wage, greenhouse, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to say it, Heinz factory, wages. You cannot pay $3,000 rent as these people are charging for a 2-bedroom with the wages in my town. So I have been looking at houses because obviously in the next, whenever the snow melts, I'm going to have to move because my house is being torn down. Where am I going to move? I have absolutely no idea. Yesterday, so November 19th, I was on the internet. I was looking at rental spaces. The cheapest one was $1,300 for a 250 square foot apartment. The room is 12.5 by 20 feet for $1,300. That is the size of an average, maybe not an average. That is the size of a bedroom. I know that one of my bedrooms upstairs is 12 by 12. The bedroom downstairs might be 20 by 12. There is no way that a person other than a student could live there. There's also houses for rent, and you have to be Arabic. There are other places that you can't have a dog. So this apartment is $1,900, and you can't have a dog the size of Rigby. You can only have a little dog. And I don't think I can fake Rigby being small. I also cannot share a house, like be roommates with somebody. I would have to have my own enclosed house, right? Like no shared entrances, etc. with other people because of germs. I can't be around anybody that's sick. I just can't. Even when my boyfriend is sick, he has his own bedroom and he stays in there and he does his own dishes and his own cooking or not cooking because he's sick, but his own meal preps. And I don't go near him. We talk on the phone and that is it. We think that he had COVID before COVID was a thing. So he had it in February and then COVID came around in March, right? He stayed upstairs with his little fever with the door closed, and I would open the door to the stairs and I would talk to him. Anyways, my whole point is I can't be around germs. There is an apartment in town. I can't live there because my mother has been blacklisted. She worked there and she got fired. It's a whole thing. And the management knows my name. We tried moving there before and they said no. And I said, I don't even talk to my mother anymore. And they said, yeah, we don't know that. I'm telling you, I don't talk to my mother. That is all you need. But looking back, it's a good thing that we didn't move there because there's certain things that have gone on at that property that I didn't want anything to do with. Anyways, I'm always getting off topic here because I'm so stressed. I have so much going on in my head. So rent is anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000. I have no idea what I'm going to do. Right now, I do not pay nearly close to $2,000. I don't. I am on disability. I am on a fixed income. I cannot work overtime. I cannot work weekends to get extra money. I can't go get a side job. Who's going to hire me? If you think about it, who's going to hire me? Like, I'll say to my boss, hey, I need 6 weeks off because I'm going on IVs because I'm extremely sick. Can you please hold my job? Who in their right mind is going to say, oh yeah, sure, we'll hold your job for you. No problem, especially a minimum wage job, right? I can't go to work being sick, coughing on people. Am I gonna do work at as a waitress and cough while I'm taking their order? Yeah, that's cool. So I can't do that. The boyfriend makes minimum wage. He doesn't get overtime. He hardly gets 40 hours as it is. If when he's lucky, he gets a 40-hour week. It's usually 37 or 38 because they take lunches off of your paycheck, right? Okay. So that's that. On Monday, I called housing and I said, hey, I would like to know. So this is, for those of you in the States, this is like Project 8. Okay. I think that's what it's called. I called them and I said, hey, I'm looking for a market rate house because they have geared to income where you pay 30% of your income, right, for rent, or they have market rate houses. So I called the manager and she's like, yeah, we don't have any available, but you have to call a housing registry to get on the waiting list. And I thought, oh, that's weird. My mother used to be the manager down there and there was a waiting list. But I mean, that was 30 years ago. So I called housing registry and I said, yeah, the manager is saying I need to get on a waiting list. And they're like, is this for geared to income? And I said, no, it's for market. She goes, we don't have a waiting list. She goes, I don't have a clue what the manager is talking about. She says, you need to call her back and ask her. So then I had to call the manager back from the Project 8 and say, okay, housing registry said there is no waiting list and they are confused about what you mean. And she goes, oh yeah, for market there's no waiting list. And I'm like, you told me on Monday that there was. Why would you do that? Why? Like, why? Then I'm wondering, what else is this person telling, like, her tenants that is not even true? What a mess. So I'm mad about that. I can't move far away because I need my doctors. I need to be able to get to my doctors. We need to be able to get the boyfriend to his job. The farther west I move, it's going to cost more in gas, and you have to remember that he makes minimum wage. So there's that. There are just absolutely no houses. There are no, I don't know. In 150-mile radius, there are 69 houses, and about half of them are for students. I am not a student. And and those are kind of like, well, you know what student housing is like, where you rent a house with like 5-6 people. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I called the lawyer's office because I had a housing lawyer before, and I'm waiting for them to call me back. The lawyer, I know the lawyer can't do anything right now because I haven't been served papers, right? But I can at least get answers from him and prepare, because I know that this is going to be a fight, and it's going to be so stressful, and I am going to be stressed out, and I don't believe that I should have to deal with this, whether it's part of being an adult or not. I have enough to deal with, and I understand that this is the landlord's house. He can do whatever he wants, but I am tired of having to trust other people. I specifically asked the landlord, is this house going to affect me? And he said no. Well, when you went and got the zoning laws or zoning permit to turn my house into a duplex, that is when you should have told me that, hey, this construction is going to affect you. You might want to start planning. Right now, there are 2 people living on my lot, on my house lot, me and the boyfriend. When this duplex goes up, there is going to be a minimum of 7 people, if not 9 or more, depending on how many they smush in here. The minimum will be 7. I told you guys that the neighbors already don't like us and that they want us out because we're lowering their property value. Well, how much do you think your property is going to be worth now with 3 houses smushed in beside you? I don't care about that part because I just believe that that's karma. Maybe you should mind your own business and leave your neighbors alone. Because now things are not going to be greener on the other side of the fence. They're going to just be a lot more populated. I have started packing. I was already living out of boxes from the last time that landlord told us when he said either my rent can go up $600 or I would have to move. I started panic packing back then and I never unpacked. So half of my stuff is in boxes already. I need to go through my clothes. The last thing I'll pack is the kitchen, obviously, because we use that every day. I only have a few heavy things to move. The bed, 2 dressers. My bed is easy to move. It's a twin bed. That's easy. And then just 100 million boxes. I really need to go through all of my crafting stuff and be real about it, because I know I don't use half the stuff. I don't, and I'm not going to, and I don't know what to do with it. I have resin molds. I have paper crafts. I have yarn. I have the diamond painting. I have my Cricut. I will keep that because you never know when you need that. I have paper and paper and paper. I remember a few weeks ago, I don't know if I told you guys, but I was really, really missing having my books. I used to have over 1,000 books, and I was really missing them. And I thought, you know what? This was at the beginning of November. I thought once a month, I'll just go to the thrift store and buy 1 book at a time. It's only $1.50. And I couldn't find the author that I wanted. We went to both thrift stores in town. And I'm like, why? Why is this so difficult? The guy wrote 72 books, and I cannot find any. I think that was a sign that, yeah, don't be buying books, because if you guys have ever moved and you own books, you know how heavy these things are. They are the worst thing to move. I moved my books 3 times. And the 4th time, I was like, okay, I seriously need to get rid of all of these. So I got rid of the ones that I read. I started reading the other ones, and I would donate them as I went through them. So that's that. I am assuming all of this stress is going to make me sick. The flu this year is supposed to be really bad. I cannot get the flu shot. My system does not handle vaccines. It started when I was in high school. And then I got a shot in 21. And my body just freaked out. I was in so much pain. So much pain. So I'm going to assume, because I'm stressed, I'm going to get more stressed. I'm probably going to get sick. That is going to add to my stress. I just hope I don't end up in the hospital because I won't be here. And I don't trust anything if I'm not here. There's just so much going on in my head right now. Where am I going to live? I can't be homeless. I have oxygen, first of all. I have other medical machines. I have boxes and boxes of medicine. I take 27 medications a day. If I'm homeless, I'm going to need a tent for myself and one for my medicine. And how am I going to use my oxygen? The homeless shelter won't help me, won't help to point me in the right direction because I am not homeless yet. I have to wait to be homeless to get help. Housing does not have emergency housing unless you are already homeless. I don't know. I'm tired of going around in circles in my head and getting nowhere. And I know that it's a sign that things are just not right now, that the right thing has not come up. And I don't know. I just really hope that something pops up. I know usually people don't move in the winter where I live because of the snow and it's cold and it's Christmas. Nobody has money to move. All of that stuff. The mortgages are coming up for renewal this year. A lot of mortgages. That might help, but people are going to be renting their houses out at the prices they paid for their mortgage. I saw the other day, while I was looking for an apartment or a house, whatever, a place to live, somebody was renting their house for $6,000. $6,000. Who in their right mind is going to pay $6,000 to rent a house? There was also one for $3,000, and there's a lot for $2,000, $2,500. I assume the house in the backyard is going to cost at least $2,000. The landlord said that the house in the backyard is already rented out. And I said, oh, I'm not surprised. It was probably rented out before he even started building it. He probably knew. Probably one of his friends said to him, hey, if you build that house in the backyard, we can make you some money if you have so-and-so live there. I really don't care who lives in the front. I don't care anything about that front house. I was not excited, but I was, what's the word? I was saying to the landlord, you know, like, hey, I was supportive. That's what the word is. I was saying to the landlord, hey, congratulations, you started the hole today. Yay, congratulations, you got the walls up. You know, I wasn't giving him a hard time. I didn't complain. I have not gone to the tenant board. I have not gone to the town about anything. And this is how you get treated. I paid off his mortgage, and this is how. I know it's his house. He can do what he wants. He doesn't have to think about me. But at the same time, you are able to build these houses because I paid off one of your mortgages. Oh no. I just smashed the jewels everywhere. Anyways, that's what's going on with me. That's where I have been. I have been stressed. I have not wanted to talk to anybody. I can't concentrate on conversations with people because my head just spins. So if I have not talked to you guys in a while, that is why. This is why I have not been making videos. Well, the past week I've done shorts. I haven't been diamond painting. This is the most I've diamond painted in over a week. I do little sections of the Guns N' Roses, but I don't know. So Remy has started a GoFundMe to support me so that I will have a backup plan to be able to move when the time comes. Not if, but when. Because like I said, I am on a fixed income. I can't just be like, hey, here's $5,000, let's move. Because when you move, as you guys know, you have to pay first and last month rent. So bare minimum, that is going to be $3,600 right off the bat. Just for first and last month's rent. $3,600. I have to pay for movers. I have to pay connection fees for the gas, hydro, water. I have to pay Canada Post to forward my mail. There are so many hidden fees when you move that you don't even realize. I have to switch my insurance. That's not going to cost anything, but it's still another step. And just on and on and on. And it was all a surprise. After I specifically said to him, is this going to affect me? Because I don't trust him. Don't. And people kept saying to me, are you sure your house is not being torn down? And I said, no, my house is fine. He said it was fine. Yeah, well, now you made me look like an idiot. And you made me look stupid. And I trusted you. And I don't trust people in the first place. And I don't know. I don't know. I have no answers. And I am mad. And I am scared. And I am just everything. I am tired of waiting because I have to sit here and wait for him to tell me that this is truly going to happen on this date. I have to just sit here with my thoughts and just think about it. And yeah, I can angry pack. I can put all my stuff in boxes. I can donate all my stuff. And then what? I still have to sit here and wait. I have to wait for a house to come up. I have to wait for him to decide what he's going to do. I don't know. Anyways, I wanted to say thank you for listening to my story. I'm sorry if I got off topic. I'm sorry if I just rambled, but I had to talk and I had to tell you guys what is going on because, as I said, there is a GoFundMe and there's a lot of new people here, and I know some of you will want to know what the heck is going on. What is this all about? Why are you having a fundraiser, etc.? What am I helping you with? And this is it. I need to move. I don't have money. My house is being torn down. And everything that I thought was safe is not. Never trust anybody. That's the bottom line. Get everything in writing. Especially, I'm telling you, get a copy of your lease. Because you never know when you're going to need it. And when we go to court over this house, I will bring that up. That we asked for a copy and we never got it. Whether the lawyer and the judge or whoever's running it will say, that's irrelevant. I don't care. I still want it out there that I've been doing my part. I have never once been late on the rent in 14 years. One time instead of putting $900, I put $90. And that was the only time I have ever screwed up the rent. I always pay the rent first. The landlord has even told me, you guys are my best tenants because I have no issues with anything that you do. So then why am I the one that you are kicking out? He's just a liar. He's a liar. I don't like liars. I know that it's a business transaction, but I still feel used. I obviously feel lied to. I feel a whole bunch of stuff. And I think it's pretty valid. If anybody has any ideas, information, stories, examples, can you please tell me? Like I said, I am in Ontario, Canada. So the housing rules are different here than in the States. If anybody's a lawyer, can you contact me? I'll cook and do your laundry for a month. All right, I am going to get off of here before I start rambling about other things. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have anything, let me know. I screwed up this row somewhere. Okay. I will see you around, guys, somewhere. Bye.